Man, listen, we back. Deep surface. Everybody see it. Deep surface. Listen, man. This is probably one of the most special episodes to me, Keegan, Scott. I'm standing in a thought of mine. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again. God gave me a thought, and now that thought is reality. We're standing in the Sports Performance Center, the core. And, about 11, 12 years ago, Keegan, God gave me the core, and it means, the acronym for the core is cultivating others to reach excellence. And the overall vision, not to belabor the point, is to we want to build a school and build for our children in the future and give them the education that they deserve, but also give back to our community. So that's what the core was built on. But I remember I was working at a particular place, and you remember BBM? Or Blackberries. I was working there. God gave me the vision for the core, and there was a lot of people on the group chat. I talked about it. I was excited. I had a lot of zeal, Scott. It was crazy. We talked every day. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Then kaput, nothing happened.
That sounds familiar.
Right?
Yeah.
Then the reality set in.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Starting and stopping. So just to fast forward it, man. Me and Don is my best friend. He's the person who operates where we're in right now. Him and his wife, Audrey, they do a phenomenal job, by the way. They have done an absolutely phenomenal job with this facility and the day-to-day operations that they partake in. So I want to make sure I honor the people of the house. Whenever you come into somebody's house, even though you're a part of the house, you got to make sure you honor them. Audrey and Don has done a phenomenal job, the Davis family, with absolutely creating an atmosphere in this venue and building something bigger. But when you look at it, Keegan, it stopped, and me and Don, we always talked. And I said, Don, you a part of you over the sports, because we played ball in college. I said, Don, you are over the sports. And Don took that and ran with it. Yeah. He took it and he ran with it. Now, was it overnight, Keegan?
No.
It wasn't overnight, Scott. It was not overnight. He took it, he ran with it. He had the faith. Don left his job to build this. A lot of times with vision, Scott, just because God gives you the vision doesn't mean you will execute every part of that vision. Don is executing a part of this vision in absence of me. But I'm still a part of it, but he's executing it differently. Yeah. And sometimes when you have a vision, it's not just for you. It's for somebody else too as well. So kudos to them. But what Don did was build something special. But what I want to go into right now, Keegan, is, so we get the building. So January 26, 2020, one of the most memorable days in America, because in that day, if everybody can look behind me and look at this beautiful, 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 beautiful mural. We were laying the carpet here, me, Don, and another gentleman. We was laying the turf, We was laying the turf, just going about our business. It was maybe about 9 to 10:30, maybe. I don't know the time exactly. But Keegan, we got a text message and I got an alert. And I was standing right over here. And it said, Kobe passed away in a helicopter crash. Well, no, I think Twitter was going off first. So we didn't know if it was real. Yeah. So I was like, nah, that's not real. Nah, that's not real. So we kept going, and I refreshed my Twitter feed, and I seen ESPN say it. Yep. And I can remember where I was at that particular moment. I was right over there, Keegan. And if you know me, I am a diehard Kobe fan when I was younger. 96 when he came in, I was Kobe until Kobe. It was not even close It was Laker, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. I remember the shots he missed against Utah. I remember the shots he missed. Both of them, 97, the air balls. Y'all,
air balls.
everybody remember that.
Yeah.
See, we praise Kobe now. People love Kobe now, but people hated Kobe. People hated Kobe. Yeah. I love Kobe. Me and Ebony, we were Kobe fans. So, when I heard that,
big ups to Ebony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I heard she had a jersey dress too. You remember the jersey dress?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jersey dress.
Man.
She gonna be
Throwback forever. Yeah. She gonna kill you. She gonna kill
me for that.
Yeah.
But I was over there kicking, and I remember my heart dropping, and I remember tears flowing, and I could not believe Kobe passed away. I didn't have a father, so Kobe was one of those role models for me because I was big into sports. He was one of those guys I looked to, and his work ethic was unbelievable.
Incomparable.
It wasn't even, it was immeasurable.
Yeah.
It was something, a man that driven, a man that hell bent on being great, for him to work and work and work and work. It was an obsession. And I admire that because you got to understand, go back to 97, Scott, 98. Kobe, people, you remember Eddie Jones was on that team? Mm-hmm. Nick Van Exel. Nicky V. Y'all remember that? Vlade Divac. They traded a lot of those guys because Kobe. Think about it. Kobe he was with the Hornets, then he got drafted to. They traded him. Like people, you got to work out at the Lakers. But people don't understand. You have to work out. That's why Westbrook got so many issues right now because there's a microscope. You got the Elgin Baylors. You got the Jerry West. The Shaquille O'Neals.
Don't forget about the Showtime.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You got the James Worthies. You got so many different players that created a legacy in La La Town that you have to live up to the hype. So people wasn't high on Kobe at all. But his work ethic, his commitment and dedication to the game, 5-time champion. One-time MVP, should have got MVP 2007 because, Steve Nash, was it 2006? Steve Nash got the MVP. He should have got it.
That was the year Shaq should have got it.
Yeah.
One year Kobe should have got it. Though.
Yeah, but Steve Nash joints one was taken from Shaq for that. And stop hitting the table, as our EP keeps telling us.
Tim, did I hit the table again?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But back on Kobe, though. Back on Kobe.
When I heard it, man, for me, man, it was, and everybody can get their thoughts about Kobe, but, immediately after we was rolling the turf down, me and Dom, we just looked at each other. We got to get something to dedicate to Kobe. We have to get something that signifies and embodies who he is and who we want to be. Yeah. And carry on his legacy. He meant so much to me, just as a man and what he did, work ethic, how he dedicated himself to the game. And I wanted to emulate in my life and whatever passion that I have. You have to dedicate yourself to it. Sometimes even become that passion. And is obsession in your passion all the time healthy? No. I don't want to promote that. It's not always obsession over anything. I would say, in my opinion, it's not healthy. But there's guys like Kobe and Jordan, even LeBron. You just don't do it the same way they do. But these guys are committed to their passion. So, we got this mural made back here, man. And I think, when people come in here to work out, when people come in here to change how they view not only their bodies, but their mental fortitude, I think the spirit of Kobe, what he represents, it gives off something different.
I would agree.
Scott, Keegan, what was your thoughts on Kobe, man? While we kind of giving him his flowers here, did you have any Kobe moments?
I'll let Scott go first.
Oh, you must have got some Kobe moments.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
So when that tragedy did happen, my wife and I, we just so happened to be in Las Vegas at the time.
Las Vegas.
We'd scheduled several tours, and one of the tours we scheduled was actually to go to L.A.
Okay.
And it just so happens that he died while we were at the Grand Canyon, and the very next day, our tour was going to L.A.
Wow.
When I tell you that, looking at the faces of how many people were affected that were there on the mountain with us at the Grand Canyon, everyone's day turned sour that day.
It did.
Everybody. One of the things that tragedy does is it galvanizes people too.
Come on, that's good.
It does
That's good.
bring people together because regardless of whether you hated Kobe or you loved Kobe, one thing that you absolutely had to do is you had to respect him.
Come on.
No doubt.
Come on, Scott. That's good.
He had a level of respect because you could never take what God gave him away. He had a God-given talent to do what he did on that basketball court. Period.
And he lived in that talent.
Absolutely.
And the thing about Kobe that's so special, Keegan, is he never disrespected the game.
No.
Never. He never felt like the things that he gained by being an NBA player, by being famous, by having access to things, those things were irrelevant to him being great. That's why he surpassed so many people that was kind of eye to eye with him when he first came into the league, Scott. Because his sheer work ethic. Yeah. Keegan, tell me, what did Kobe mean to you, my guy?
Well, I remember where I was at as well. I was in my house, and I about to leave to go hang out with some fellas, and when ESPN broke it and they reported on it, you kind of knew it was authentic then. When ESPN recorded it or put it on TV. And so me and my son, we just chilled out and just watched ESPN for the next 2 hours. People talking about Kobe, giving their memories of him and something, and just kind of like appreciating the man for what he did for the game, how he empowered and how he motivated people. And I think that people hated Kobe in the beginning because there was an arrogance there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was an arrogance there. And we caught the arrogance before we caught the work ethic.
Yes.
We caught the confidence before we actually saw the diligence in him.
Yep.
We saw that. We said, oh, he's built different.
Yep.
He was.
He's earned the right to be arrogant. He's earned the right to be confident because he put in that work after hours and before hours.
Is arrogant the right word?
It was arrogant.
Because
well, hold on. If you're a professional athlete, you all have egos.
I agree with the ego part.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
What I'm saying with the ego will always exist. I'm talking about, was Kobe did he just not do the bull crap? Was he just not? Was basketball just the main thing for him, and everything else was everything else? You got to think about it. Kobe was so different. He was hell bent. This was not a hobby for Kobe. This was not a making. He wanted to be Jordan. He wanted to be better than Jordan.
That's fair.
He wanted to be better than Jordan so bad that he emulated everything he did. If you watch Jordan, you watch Kobe. There's only a few subtle movements that are different from Jordan and Kobe. Now, I will say this about Jordan. Jordan was a little bit more fluid.
Yeah, he was.
Because it was his natural motion.
It was an elusiveness
Kobe
there.
imitated Jordan.
Yeah, it was elusiveness
so
there.
it was a mechanical. It was a mechanical movement more than a natural
But
movement.
that fadeaway was spot on.
Oh my God.
That turnaround fadeaway was spot
But
on.
speaking of Jordan, I want to talk about this for a second though. Scottie Pippen.
Oh boy.
But before we get to Scottie Pippen, I want to do this. I don't want to get too far into it because we already got too far into it. But I want to pray because before we have any conversation again, I want to make sure that we come into our presence with respect to God.
Absolutely.
And respect to the one that created us, the respect to the one that gave us the gift and the ability to be able to speak, to be able to translate a message to people in any type of way. We got to give that to God. That's the least that we can do is stop for a second and acknowledge him in all his ways. So Scott, go ahead.
Heavenly Father, thank you again for allowing us to enter in your space, for we know that if it is a space that we enter, it is yours, oh Heavenly Father. We cannot do a thing, we cannot say a thing, we cannot think a thing without a thing being first produced by you. We thank you for allowing us to be in this space so that we can actually touch those that have no voice, be a voice for those that don't have one, to be a light for those that might find themselves in darkness. We're praying today, oh Heavenly Father, that you season our words with salt, that it might reach every man, oh Heavenly Father. Let it be something that they can take from this moment, and it is something that we can actually use to grow in our lives, oh God. Let iron sharpen iron in this moment as we build and gain from one another. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I guarantee God heard that prayer. Some prayers don't make it to heaven, but that one made it to heaven.
No, all prayers make it. No,
That was pretty good right there. I was like-
Steve, hold. All prayers make it. Hold on.
Some people
hold on.
I'm just kidding.
All prayers make it. The answer might be no, though. The answer might be no.
Yeah.
That's a
But
nugget.
all prayers make it. All
God,
prayers
look
make
at
it.
him and turn him.
Yeah, he might say, "Nah, I'm not doing that," but all prayers do make it.
Praying that he gets the glory.
Yeah, our God is sovereign. He hears everything.
Man, listen, God is, man, I tell you what, before we even talk, but, you know, I relish waking up in the morning now. Whether I wake up with infirmity, anxiety, or sad, there's a thought that goes through my head that thanks God that I woke up because I can turn that anxiety around because I got some hours in a day to change my perspective and acknowledge Him.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, Keegan, I really, and it's good to thank God sometimes, man.
Sometimes.
No, what I'm saying
All the
is,
time.
all the time. But to really just say, God, God, listen, because we forget sometimes. We get different. We start to think it's us a little bit.
Yeah, I follow your point there.
But
yeah.
to be intentional.
But the thing for the little things,
Come on.
we want to appreciate the big things, but the little things, having 10 functioning fingers,
The activities of your limbs.
right? You know, this is little things. You know, definitely. So, but you want to talk about Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, your cousin Scottie Pippen. Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna say. Scottie Pippen, he's wrote a book and he was pretty upset with the Last Dance being geared towards Michael Jordan, and he felt like he was more of an intricate part in the Chicago Bulls' success than what has been publicized. And to me, he is.
I agree.
I'm absolutely. I think Scottie can go about. Let me first preface my statements. I believe the decorum in which he's going about is a little bit trashy and a little bit beneath him. I don't think he has to do this, because it's murky and it's muddy and there's a opulence about the Chicago Bulls in the 90s that I want to hold true. Even The Last Dance did a little bit to me, Keegan. You get what I'm saying?
We had some discussions about it,
It was a nostalgia about, because Jordan represented and the Bulls represented the standard of winning in the form of sports. So, you know, Scottie doing this, I don't disagree with the mechanics and the logic. Scottie was an intricate part. In fact, Scottie was a LeBron-type player before there was LeBron. He was a Grant Hill-type player before there was a Grant Hill. He did everything. He scored. He assisted. He
Swiss
rebounded.
Army knife.
He set the.
Yeah.
In fact,
set the tone on defense.
the triangle
Yeah, on
offense was
defense.
ran. Jordan got it, but it was ran. Scottie ran it. Scottie was in '91. If you go back to history, the Lakers won the first game, but when Scottie got on Magic Johnson, he shut him down. The way he did that, he smothered him. He didn't let the offense get going. Every time he caught the ball, he was right there glued to him. So what you couldn't do, the Showtime Lakers, they was a little bit older, so they couldn't move the way they move. So I get what Scottie's saying, but it's Jordan. It's Jordan. And if we want to drill it down to just basketball, I've said this before. Jordan in this era is a taller 6'6" Kyrie. But yeah, don't do that. Kyrie offensive package is real.
My facial expression was not about saying Kyrie isn't what Kyrie is.
Right.
But
It's not the right comparison.
I would.
I know what I'm saying.
It's not the right comparison.
No. I'm not comparing their games. I'm comparing the offensive package. Their ability to create space. Their ability to get shots in awkward positions. The reason why we don't see Kyrie that way, because he doesn't have the athletic ability. And that's where Jordan was superior to Kyrie in this conversation. I'm talking about offensive package.
The difference is Jordan played above the rim.
Yeah.
Not his whole career.
I'm out.
Not his whole career.
I'm out.
96.
I'm out.
Through 98, didn't
I'm
play
out.
above his career.
His
He
last.
did.
I mean, I'm not talking about the
last
Wizards
2-3
Jordan. I'm talking about Jordan.
Even Chicago Bulls Jordan in 96 to 98 was not above the rim.
Yeah,
guy.
I was gonna say his last 2 years.
His
he
last
did-
three,
he-
that
yeah,
last
he
three
was
peat
more of a
wasn't.
shooter.
The first
He
three
turned
peat,
into a lot
yes.
more of a shooter in those last.
I'm
2
just
Okay,
talking about.
I'm gonna fall back from that one. I'm gonna fall
I'm
back
just
from that
talking
one.
about in way and how he got his shots. That's all I'm talking about. But
I'm just saying, but diversification of the game, like his game was above the rim. Kyrie's is not. Like, they're different players completely.
They are. But when I'm comparing this, the ease of the way they get their shots and how they can dominate a game scoring. Because Jordan,
if you look at Jordan's offensive package, his last 2 years, he played with his back to the basket because he dominated everybody else in the shooting guard position. They had no way to guard him.
and it wasn't that many athletic.
Don't do that.
Jeff
Don't do that.
Hornacek.
See,
I'm not-
you keep going to the same people all the time. Jeff Hornacek, Craig
Brian
Elo,
Dawkins.
yeah.
But those,
Man,
but
stop
that
it.
was. But I'm not knocking.
How many teams in the NBA? How many teams in the NBA? I'm just saying. You go to those.
32.
Okay,
Listen,
keep going though.
My-
I'll keep
the
going.
point is, and listen, this is not a bash Jordan session because
at all.
I am enamored by Jordan. I've said this before. Though I don't think he's the GOAT, that doesn't mean that I don't think he's not the greatest athlete to ever live. And what I mean by that, Keegan, what I mean by that is he's polarizing. There's nobody that had that buzz in that 6-year span where they just sucked the air out of everybody in the world by their greatness. So I'm giving Jordan that even over Ali.
Can I ask you one
Even
question?
over Ali.
Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with Jordan, his expertise was intimidating you to a point to where you couldn't perform at your best.
He beat you off the
beat
bus.
you mentally.
He beat you off the bus.
He was
He
Michael
beat you off the
Jordan.
bus. Yeah.
He was super competitive, first of all. And one of the
In
things that
everything.
we're talking about when we talk about Kobe Bryant is his competitive nature.
Yeah.
He emulated that same competitive drive, that same competitive spirit that Jordan had. He wanted to do it on a different level. The problem with what Kobe did is at times he became disrespectful in his path of doing it. Even
How?
when it came to being disrespectful to his own teammates. You can't.
What do you mean by that? Because oh my God, you got to explain that.
There are several accounts.
Several accounts.
Y'all
Where,
bugging. Go
where
ahead.
Kobe wouldn't even speak to a player on
Yeah.
his team simply because he didn't feel like they were worth talking to.
Yeah.
Well, if he didn't see him working,
No, it was before he even saw him work.
See, you
It
gotta
was-
understand,
before they even lined
the
the chair.
stakes were high.
Stop banging the table first and foremost.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna bang the table. But we got to see. This is where we get off. This is why I asked about Erica's question.
I'll tell you why I said that.
The
I'm going where you
stakes
gonna go.
in LA, we talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
In La La Town are different. You don't get to go there and hide.
No.
The spotlight is on you.
Oh, yeah.
He understood. I came from high school. Jerry West traded for me. I gotta perform, and I want to be better than Jordan.
But you also have to think about the context of how he did it. His reason for going to LA was that's the only team I want to play for. There's no way I'm playing for Charlotte. If I have to go to
That's
Charlotte,
an
I'm not gonna
arrogance.
play.
That's
Eli
a-
Manning did that, but we didn't
that's
call him
arrogance.
arrogant. We're not gonna do that. Eli Manning
slow
daddy
down.
did that.
Slow down. Yeah, you're right. Eli Manning daddy
But-
did that.
but-
Eli didn't care.
Let's
George-
be clear that the athlete said it.
Kobe was not going to
Was
play in
not
Charlotte.
Going to play in Charlotte. Out
Stop
of
doing
his
that.
mouth.
Oh, we're not taking anything away from
Out of
Kobe.
his mouth.
But you're not going to tell me Kobe was not arrogant.
In public, on camera, in front of a podium.
In
I'm
2021,
not
we
gonna
said
play.
Kobe.
Go find your stats. Go find
In
them.
2021, we saying Kobe arrogant. We gotta stop.
No,
this.
I mean,
no, it's
we
not
gotta
a bad.
stop
Oh,
this.
it's
You
not
gotta
a bad
understand.
thing. It's
I
not a
don't
bad. We're not
take
saying it's a bad
nothing
thing. But we got
from
to call
Kobe's
Yeah,
game.
call a
See,
spade a
they
spade.
bugging Kobe.
Oh
I take
my
nothing from
God.
Kobe's
You
game.
do it too
I take
much.
nothing from
They
Kobe's game.
bugging.
But you can't say to me that it's arrogant as an 18-year-old that has never played a day
Yes.
in college basketball to
For
say that
real.
I'm not going to play.
Why
for
does he
a
need that
professional
criteria? Why did he need that criteria? He was already that good. He was already
Really?
that good.
There's
He
a
wasn't
certain-
actually. He wasn't.
No, what I'm saying is
There's
a
he
certain-
He was ready for the NBA.
No, I'm
though.
not saying he wasn't ready for the NBA, but he was not that good
Even
compared
if
to
he
what he
was,
became.
even if he was ready, you got to understand that it takes a certain level of arrogance to say before I have ever
Yeah.
played a college basketball game
I'm not gonna
against
play
anybody
there.
else that's already been in the league, I'm not going to play for a specific professional
A
team.
22-year-old Muhammad Ali. Get the camera on me, Tim.
Let's do this.
I'm a 22-year-old. You could say, Kamar, a 22-year-old that won a that beat Sonny Liston said, "I am the greatest."
Still banging the table. Tim.
Before he became the greatest, he was the greatest. In fact, before he even beat Sonny Liston, he said, "I am the greatest."
So let me ask you
Steve.
this question: When you
That's
get
all I'm saying.
when you get in a boxing ring, is anybody else in there helping you?
No.
No,
It's a completely different scenario.
No.
It may be a different, but greatness is greatness. Would you agree with that?
I agree that
Greatness is greatness.
I'm not arguing that.
Proven,
I'm not arguing that. But yes, it does actually.
Greatness has
to be proven. And hold on. And to that point,
I'm not disagreeing with that point.
Hold on. At that point, Ali proved it. We saw Kobe struggle his first year. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Yeah. So my point is, he grew into something, which is why we appreciate him, because he actually put forth effort.
So let me ask
hold on.
Go ahead.
People live on talent all day long in every industry.
Yeah.
That's good. Now we
live on talent.
Good,
what Kobe showed us was talent gets you to the table. Not to sit at the table and stay there. You got to work. That's what he proved to people.
If Tim would hit that clap button,
that's what he proved to people.
My goodness,
that's what we appreciate Kobe.
Yes,
but there was a time where I'm like, Scott, like before that happened, because let me be clear, Ali ain't throwing no air balls.
Not at all.
Oh.
If you want to call that comparison, he didn't throw no air balls.
He didn't consider.
But hold on.
During that time period,
Scotty and Jordan.
Okay, don't do that.
Back to Scotty and Jordan though.
Okay, go ahead.
Back to Scotty and Jordan. I think Scotty trolling he wants brand. He wants voice. And I truly believe that he was an intricate part. But The Last Dance was Michael's project.
Do your own.
It's as simple as that. To Scott's point, you want to do that? Do your own project. That was Michael's project.
Yep.
It was not even about the Bulls.
It was completely about him.
It was about Michael.
Yep.
And he had the power to do that. So from Scotty's perspective, fall back, do your own project. But I think he's trolling for brand to have more voice. I think he feels like the world don't understand what he did. And we do. Real basketball fans
players get it.
know what Scotty did for the Bulls.
Yep.
We know. When Jordan left for that sabbatical, we saw what Scotty did.
Yep.
We know what Scotty is.
And even if you're right, sometimes your ego deceives you.
All the time.
Even if you're
All
right.
the time.
Because this is what I see here with Scottie Pippen. He was the focal point. Jordan didn't win a championship
Till he got
without
there.
him.
Till he got there.
Yep.
He didn't win. He did not win a championship without him.
That's right.
And as time goes, and as people probably watch a documentary and things, there's a couple of things out there about Scotty, and I'm not going to put that there because I don't want to do all that gossipy shit.
Yeah, let's not get dirty.
And I'm not doing all that. Yeah. But there's some things that happened in his life that was, not particularly favorable to him.
And that was public, yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes people can feel, and when situations like that happen,
that's a good point, Steve.
You will start doing desperate.
That's a good point.
Desperate.
Yeah.
Measures.
There you go.
Yep. Times.
Calls for desperate measures.
That's a good point.
And you define, and people don't realize, you define what desperate times are for you.
You do.
That's not a macro thing. That is a oh shit moment in your life. And you do something like this because it makes you feel bigger because you really feel small because of this situation over here. So I believe, that he was a little bit irresponsible in that way. But speaking of irresponsible, Keegan, that was an incident.
I am not irresponsible, by the way, people. He's just using me right now. Go ahead. I'm messing with you. Go ahead. I'm messing with you.
I ain't gonna hit the table, Tim. But speaking of irresponsible, man, Keegan, we me and you talked a little bit, Keegan and Scott, about this Henry Ruggs incident, and it's a tragic thing that happened. For people who don't know, Henry Ruggs is the wide receiver for the Oklahoma. Not Oklahoma, but Las Vegas Raiders. I'm about to say Oakland.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Las Vegas
Raiders. I'm sorry about that. That was crazy. And great receiver, unbelievable speed, promising future. I could his comp to me is Tyreek Hill. I think he had a lot of upside. I think he he opened up the field for David Carr, but he made he had an incident where he was going 156 miles per hour, drunk driving, and killed a young lady. And that very tragic. But I want to come here and I want to talk about Keegan because we talked about it. And I was talking at the table and I was like, he made a mistake. And you said it wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. What did you mean by that?
So for me, when you go to a spa, consume alcohol to a point where you are intoxicated, you get in the whip and you drive and you decide to go over 100 miles an hour, we're no longer talking about a mistake. This is not an isolated activity or action. You decide to do something that was just irresponsible. It was a bad decision. It was, and because of that, there has to be a consequence to it.
Absolutely.
A mistake is when I knock over my cup and my drink fall out. It's a one-time act. There was a multitude of things that happened between the time he got to where he was at till he got to that accident. And every moment in that point led to that particular accident, that he made bad choices. I'm not judging him. I want to be clear. I'm not coming with condemnation. I'm coming with assessment of what took place.
And there's a difference.
Let me explain why that's important.
That's good, Keegan.
Because everyone that wants to defend him, you have a right to. You want to defend the black culture, you have a right to. There is a family that lost a life. Don't forget that. From what I will call bad decisions, not mistakes. So for me, there has to be an accountability. We don't throw nobody away. And again, we don't judge. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put nobody in.
But there's
right?
a difference between judgment and discernment.
Not only that, I would say discernment is very, very important. But when I talk about judgment, I mean condemnation.
That's good.
I'm not saying, yo, you're not a good person. That's not what I'm saying, Henry Ruggs. I'm not judging his character. I'm not character assassination either. What I'm saying is, we made some bad choices here. And because of that, the result was someone lost their life. Nobody stepped on Tim's Jordan at the club. Nobody bumped my car at their door at the Walmart parking lot. Someone lost their life. That has to be accounted for.
Absolutely.
Under the laws that we live by, right? And so for me, I'm not looking at this from the standpoint of black versus white. I'm looking at the standpoint of, we made a bad choice here. A couple of bad choices here. Somebody lost their life. Let's be responsible. Let's be accountable to that particular thing, because it wasn't a mistake. These were bad decisions that took place that particular night.
And it's okay. It's completely okay to be accountable. It is not a bad thing, Scott, to just be accountable. Yeah. It doesn't, and I think sometimes because, and here's the catch 22 with this. Because black people have been accused, blamed, unfairly judged for so long, any measure of accountability feels like those things I just named. We're defensive. Yeah. Not everybody. I'm not talking about, but as a collective. And I'm sensitive to my people. I'm being honest. I don't have it right. I'm sensitive to my people. You know, when this came out and we was talking about why they put up the 156 miles per hour, because they want to give.
That was wrong.
I was sensitive.
That was wrong.
Yeah, but and I'm sensitive to that. And those things do happen. But Scott, there is accountability. But Scott, what I really want to ask you, and you can chime in after you finish.
Sure.
Keegan, what is the difference? I want you to kind of break this down for us. What is the difference between a mistake and a decision? How do we define that?
A mistake is something that you do when you're not aware of any other choices.
That's good.
That was just incorrect.
That's good.
When I open my car door and I don't think to judge the difference between my car door and the next car, I'm not thinking about it, right? I'm just opening my door to get out. But making the decision, as Keegan mentioned, to drink, I could have stopped at any point. That was the first thing. I could have stopped at any point. I could have not drank at all. Then to make the decision to pick up a pair of keys to drive it all.
Yep, could have Ubered.
You could have Ubered. To drive at any speed. I don't care if it was 25 miles an hour. You got behind the wheel of a car intoxicated. Then to drive in excess of the speed limit.
That was a little more than
way in excess.
By a couple, by almost double.
He was at 156.
Yeah,
almost double. Those are not. That's not an accident. Those aren't things that you. Oh, I didn't know how fast I was going. Oh, I didn't know how much I drank. Oh, I didn't know I got in my car. You can't say that you didn't know in any of those situations. A decision is something that you get when you actually have the facts.
Yeah. So to
He
that
had
point,
all of the variables there. All
Yeah.
the variables, he knew what he was doing.
That's good.
and to his point, I'm sorry, go ahead, Scott.
Go ahead, Keegan.
I would say to your point, one is unconscious and one is conscious.
Exactly.
One is, like I said, if I might knock this drink over or my water over, I didn't do that on purpose.
Right.
Gotcha. That's good.
Everything he did was on purpose. Whether he was intoxicated, inebriated or not, it was a purpose with it.
Yep.
Like Scott said, drinking to that particular excess, then getting into your car to drive, knowing that you are done, and then to drive that particular speed, not on a highway, on street roads. They got the video on street roads. Now I want to say this because our big bro Keith, he put out some great points. The speed should never have been published. It's part of a ongoing investigation. And so whenever DAs want to tell you about them, they always say, we can't comment because it's an ongoing investigation. But they put the speed out there. Want to know why? They want to convict them in public opinion.
That's good.
Up top.
Correct.
That is wrong.
Correct.
That is wrong because the speed is part of evidence,
Yep.
right? All the tapes they got, him running through the streets, part of evidence. So you shouldn't publish those things from your mouth, Mr. DA. You know what you're doing, right? So I will say that. I agree with my boy Keith about that. That was wrong. That was wrong.
definitely agree
That's where I actually support and defend Henry Ruggs. If you're gonna try him, try him.
Yep.
But don't put him in the court of public opinion. Have everybody else who don't have all the facts make judgment. As long as you hear someone is drunk, 156 in the street, somebody gets hit and gets killed, it's a dub.
Yeah. You're done.
He's convicted already.
Yeah.
You can't find an unbiased jury now.
Yep.
If it goes that far, now he has to plead out.
Yep. He doesn't have a choice.
That's how the game is played
That is.
from a legal perspective.
And drama sells.
All day.
It sells. You know, people love to hear what we're doing right now.
Talking about it. Bingo.
Facts.
We're talking about it, and the thing about it is, man, there's such a delicate mistakes and decisions. We can define it, but we don't know how people are thinking in the moment that they're thinking.
No.
And
that's
sometimes
the-
they're not. That's the problem.
That's why you can't judge them.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it's not a matter of judgment.
You can discern the fruit, but you can't condemn the person.
No.
No.
So,
Well, we don't have a right to, Steve.
You don't.
We don't have a right to. I will go somewhere, but I don't want to go there.
No, let's go there. No, listen.
Well,
I told you we going there.
Hey,
tonight.
so I'm gonna tell you what. I'm a Christian, so the good book tells me in Matthew, hey, judge not,
Unless you be
Yeah,
or
you
ye
be
too be judged with the same measure to judge others. Why? Look, so that's in your eye when I got a plank in my own eye. First, get the plank out my own eye so I can see clearly to remove the sawdust out of your eye. So I got a plank in my own. I can't judge Henry Ruggs.
No.
I don't even try to.
And we talked about it at Outback.
Yeah, I don't even try to.
You don't even know how
Hey
to
man, don't tell I worry about. Don't do that.
I ain't say where.
On 17th Street.
You don't even have the. Look, I ain't saying nothing.
I'm messing with you, bro. Go ahead.
But we can't even judge ourselves.
Not at all.
That's why I said, yeah, you be judged by the same measure. You can't even do it. You don't even have the strength to judge yourself
Not at all.
because you don't want to.
There's a reason why.
Come on.
The moment you start judging yourself, what is the first thing that you do? Think about it. First thing that you do is you start
You're going to justify.
trying to justify
You gonna
why
justify
you
with
did it.
excuse. You excuse. That's what we do. It's
But
human nature.
That's
self-preservation, bro. It's self-preservation.
The purpose in your life from being fulfilled the moment you start judging yourself, because the first thing you're going to say is, why did I do that?
That's a fact.
I don't
That's
need to
a
do
ball.
that. And then you start stepping back from what you were meant to do because you're now over judging yourself. And I got to be honest, I'm one of the biggest offenders of judging myself because I could care less what other people think. All I know is what God has intended for me, and I know that He's going to judge, and He's going to be the
We're our
true
own
person
worst
that's
critics.
judging
We're
what
our own
happens
worst
in my
critics.
life.
Yeah,
That's good.
So-
we're our own worst critics.
If I got myself as a judge and I stop paying attention to what everybody else is doing, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to assess myself.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to assess myself, and oftentimes what that will do is it'll deviate you from the path that God has already put you on.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Because success. How do you gain success? Success doesn't come from not getting any no's. Success comes from you getting a no and continuing to push forward.
Push forward.
Success comes from you getting the one yes.
That's all you need is one.
You can be wrong 90,000 times.
90,000
Just be
times.
once
One
right.
yes,
You once
and
be
that's
right
it, you
once.
set.
Yeah.
Now, what if I get my first no and I decided not to keep going? And I decided to judge myself and not do what God intended me to do. What if you were in the same position? Yeah. Before you open this place up, you ran into your first roadblock and it said no, and you took a step back and you said, I don't know if this is a good idea. What if when the day that you opened up the doors,
we talking now,
the first bill came and you didn't have a single client? And you're like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Maybe I need to go ahead and shut the doors. Think about how many lives would have been affected had you not continued to press forward after you got your first no.
Mm-hmm.
And you decided to judge yourself.
Yeah.
that's good, Scott.
It's the facts.
Yes.
This is not me. This is the reality of what it is. It's not me. That's just the reality of what it is. There are certain principles in the planet that God put here for a reason. You just got to know, get in tune with what he's got for your life, and identify with it. Truth is truth, regardless of whether it came from me or somebody else.
Absolutely.
True indeed. It's universal.
Truth is, and we have a hard time understanding that truth is not fact.
It's not.
Break it down.
Truth is not fact. Facts are something that require evidence. Mm-hmm. Truth does not require any evidence for it to be the truth.
Nope.
You better.
Nope.
That's good.
I'm just
Real
being
talk.
honest.
Real talk.
What do you mean by that?
Air is truth.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any evidence for you to require air to breathe.
Exactly.
I'm in a
It
boat
might
section.
exist. It might exist, but you don't require it.
Yep.
Listen,
You don't require
Tim,
it.
this might be the first GOAT session. This might be the first. Listen, that's good.
That's the truth. That's what the truth is.
I'll give you 2 points about the hearing rug. I want to make a connection too. I will ask everyone who is watching this, who will watch it, the fellows in the room, pray for Henry Ruggs.
Come on.
Right.
Pray
Come
for
on.
the family
There we go.
that's going to support him, and pray for the family that lost someone as well.
Yep.
And let's not hold him hostage to one bad decision.
Yep.
He is bigger than that, right?
Come on.
Let's not do that. That's one. And I'm going to connect some dots. You're talking about, not stopping. I think about this place right here. And I'm talking about Steve and Don, two guys that I respect very, very dearly. Think about Langston Hughes' poem, A Montage of a Dream Deferred. Come on. What is a dream deferred? Like a raisin in the sun? Or is it fester like a sore? And I think about the fact that your dream was deferred, yet it came to fruition.
Come on.
When you look back on life, you can see where God started to move pieces around the board to make it work and become a reality. Now we're sitting in something that's powerful. That has absolutely nothing to do with Steve and Don. You're preparing the future. Young men come through here.
Come on.
They used to be you.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
They used to be Don.
Yes, sir.
Right? Remember you talking to us earlier about when Don hit you on that practice
He
field.
did.
You felt that, right?
Yeah. But I burnt him a lot too. I wanted to say that too.
You're not going to do it. Don can't defend himself, so we're not going to buy that. We're not going to buy that. We're not going to buy that.
But
But what I was
couldn't cover me. Go ahead.
Stop it.
I just want to say that. Go
He
ahead.
was safety, not a quarterback. Stop it. But I would say this. At some point in time, you had to be developed. Now you're developing people.
Come on.
Like, to me, that's when you think about a dream deferred, not denied.
That's a bar.
Give God space to work. He's going to work it out in his own time. And now we're not only developing young minds and young bodies to be better at who they want to be, we're also being able to sit in this particular space and give some truth to other people who might need it. Right? So for me, this the culmination of this right here, I'm not only happy about, I'm proud of, happy to be a part of, because something went into this. Blood, sweat, tears. You mentioned not only Don, but also Audrey, his wife.
Unbelievable.
They put some shit in this.
They did.
They put some skin in the game to
Absolutely.
make this thing
Absolutely.
work.
They run it.
And I'm happy to be around Black excellence to see how it comes out. This is dope. This is real dope. But again, I would say this: don't throw Henry Ruggs away.
Nope.
Don't throw him away.
And sometimes as a community, that's not the end of him. That was a portion of him. What we have to sometimes accept is the good with the bad, with the very ugly too.
Yep.
Yeah, no question.
Because
Sometimes it's necessary.
sometimes your ugly doesn't make it out of your closet. Doesn't make it less ugly.
True.
It just means that it's just a matter that you have to deal with privately. He has made it to the forefront.
His became public. Yeah,
To whom much is given,
much is required.
much is required. Everybody has what we don't understand about Christ sometimes. We just having a conversation right now.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got to go to that cross. Everybody has to go to that cross.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a crucifixion moment. Everybody.
More than one sometimes.
More than one. And sometimes yours cost you just a little bit more from a perception standpoint. What I mean by that is because now he's facing this amount of time in jail. This is how we judge. We got to stop doing this. Because he's going to jail, because the society is going to say, you're an outcast now. We're not going to love him the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know why?
Come on.
Because they're looking at him as if he lost. What did we have a discussion about right before this podcast started? We have a bad relationship
With winning.
With winning.
Come on. Talk about that a little bit.
We want to win so bad that if we are associated with someone that lost, we would rather leave. We would rather step away. I don't want anything to do with you.
We'll throw them away. Yep.
I'll throw you away. I'll throw your dog away, your cat, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousin, and everybody else you related to if I think they're losing.
Real talk. Real talk.
We got a terrible relationship with winning.
We do.
Terrible. We would rather win at the expense of somebody else losing everything
Yep.
than it would be for me to just take the loss. I would rather lose our relationship if it means that I can win. We do that all the time.
We glorify it.
We glorify
Every meme
winning.
you see on the internet is you walking away from somebody.
No question.
That's you walking away to get better for you.
They make songs about it.
That's a fact.
Don't they have a song that say win, 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 win? Everything is win. Everything is about winning.
Yeah.
Right? We have a terrible relationship with winning.
And I think, I ain't gonna change the word, but I want to expand it. I think we have a toxic relationship with winning.
Very.
I think we don't understand what it means because, see, winning is all of us. If you're my friend and you're winning and I'm not, what does that say about our relationship?
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
That means that you're getting off on your ego. That means that you need to feel better about yourself because you need to see somebody here while you're here from a perception standpoint.
Absolutely.
So I think we have a toxic relationship because we've been and everything there's again, I always like to paint the whole picture because how did that get there? See, how did that get there? That's the question. How did it get there?
We associate a lot with slavery. We associate a lot with where we came from and not having very much in our lives as we grew. We saw our parents not have much. So when the moment comes that we get something where we can consider it a dub, when we consider it a win, that's a situation that I want everybody to know about it. It's one of the main reasons why we actually glorify people wearing a lot of gold and the riches that they have. You can have the nicest car in the neighborhood and still live in the projects.
Facts.
You can be renting a house in the projects at that, not even owning the home in the projects, right? I want everybody to know that I won. I want everybody to know it.
Yep.
Because that's not normal for me.
For us.
Keegan, have we been, and I want to talk about poverty for a second from a different perspective, because poverty doesn't just consist of money. Poverty is a mindset. It has nothing. I think it has little to do with money.
It's both.
Very little.
It's both.
It's both. But I think it's.
I mean, you got to eat.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying, and I think that's one of those things.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You got to eat, right?
I think that's just the result.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I follow you.
I think it's over. Poverty. Cause see, I can be walking in purpose and not eat. But I know that I'm going to eat at some point because I'm pushing myself to another level. Poverty is accepting it. It's a mindset. It is dealing with the fact, okay, this is what it is. It is acting out poverty. It is just ingratiating yourself in something. And I think, and again, it's not a blame game. It's not we caused it, but we were introduced to that. We were at Tulsa, Rosewood. Like, we had communities growing, but at some point what happened is they just kept pushing the poverty mindset on us. And eventually, I'm not going to say we accepted it, but it's out in our living room a little bit.
Keegan, I'm going to ask your opinion about something.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Ask both you guys. Do you believe that poverty is the acceptance of hopelessness?
That's good.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was just saying.
Well, I
That's
would
good.
say
You just said it really good.
But
You're
let
right
me
in the vein.
let me say why. America is built on comparison, and so if I see Tim winning, that means if I'm not doing what he's doing, I'm doing something wrong. And so if I can't win, there's something wrong with me. My ability, my character, whatever it might be, it becomes psychology. So yeah, you start to accept hopelessness because I can't get that. I'm going to live in this particular space. But also what poverty does is it makes you spend all of your intellectual capital and your physical capacity on making the check and the ends meet. You can never think about strategy. Yep. One thing I tell clients, and I even told our brother Tap this, was, are you working in your business or on your business?
That's good.
If you spend the majority of your time working in the biz, executing, X and O type stuff, you can't spend time working on the biz, meaning looking around the corner. What's the next strategy? So me, you, and Ivan had a conversation last night about, or Tuesday night about Bill Gates and those guys. Did they get into some certain types of thinking to see around the corner? Yeah, because they're not worried about check to check.
It's easy to do that when you.
It's easy. I can spend all my time thinking about future shit if I ain't got to worry about food in the pantry.
Come on.
If I got to worry about food in the pantry, I got to go to work.
A growl in the belly will distract you from
My
everything.
mom's worked 2 and 3 jobs to put food in the pantry to pay the rent, to keep the lights on. She ain't had time to think about college. She had time to think about, hey, starting a business. No. We had to pay the bills. And so when you got to actually put all your effort into making ends meet, you ain't got time to think about hope. Because your hope is built on making the ends meet from check to check.
I hope.
That's what that's what poverty creates. It steals the mindset of strategy. It creates a laborer.
Oh yeah.
That's the problem with poverty.
That's the facts. That is absolutely true.
Poverty has so many layers, Keegan. Scott, it's not. It is not just money. It's spiritual poverty.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true too.
Social poverty. In fact, some of our kids can't even communicate.
Yeah.
You don't even communicate no more.
That's a fact.
You meet a kid, they don't even talk to you no more.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They're looking down.
Yeah. Or in their phone.
Poverty, that's what I was trying to say. Poverty
In the iPhone.
It's not just it was sold to us as just a thing of finances, but it's actually you living in your valley.
Psychology, yeah.
It is accepting your valley. You're and I think the mindset has to be lifted. And the mindset from poverty that can only be lifted is through empathy.
Starting point.
Because you don't know. See, poverty is a spirit.
It is.
It's not. It's a spirit.
Definitely a mental spirit. Yeah.
But money doesn't absolve you of poverty.
Doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
It gives you an opportunity to evaluate. That's what money.
Steve,
See, that's what money does.
But Steve, I mean, I know guys that make 6 figures. I know guys right now that make $150 a year, but spend $160. That's a poverty mindset.
That is a poverty mindset.
Yep.
They make well above the median income.
Yep.
But they spend more than what they make. It's
In
poverty
fact,
mindset.
I would say when you make that much, I don't care who you are. And listen, if you make that much, there ain't many things in this life in America that you can't get.
True. True.
That's fine.
No question.
That's true.
But
I'm not
but the
saying
thing
don't
is-
make that.
but
'Cause don't get me wrong.
But to your point, once you spend more than what you make, you are impoverished. Because guess what? You're now relying on the next 150.
That's it.
That's a check the check mindset.
It is. But and then the reality comes that Keegan, it might stop one day.
For real.
I haven't saved a penny.
No. Yeah. The market might change, might become disabled, get into a car accident. You can't do the thing you was doing before to make money.
Facts.
Anything can happen. So poverty it can be working class people, it can be middle class people, it can be upper class people. It doesn't matter. If you make $1 but spend $2.
That's good.
If you make $200,000 and spend $205, you have a poverty mindset.
That's good.
They have a poverty mindset. Yeah.
I want to go here for a second. That was good. That was good. But, men, I want to talk about men. You see a lot on the internet where it's talking about self-care, self-care, self-care. You see a lot of that on the internet. But, men and self-care. If I can be transparent, I don't even know what that means. Because if I'm being honest, that message was never translated to me. There was never an accountability message to say, Steve, you need to take care of yourself. The message that was translated to me was, if you get a family, you take care of your family at all costs. Now, that is a thought that I will always have, and I will always hold true to that. I don't know if that's something that can be taken out of me, but I always talk about this, and I said it earlier. You got to paint the whole picture. Because you do that, that doesn't mean another thing can't be true.
True.
You can still take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And take care of your family.
You should be.
Steve, the only way you can take care of family is to take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the only way you can do it.
Agreed.
Men, we neglect ourselves.
True.
Yeah, we do.
We don't, after a certain period of time, sometimes men don't even care about their appearance sometimes. Because what they're trying to accomplish, it doesn't matter. They're fixated on the goal. Yeah. And when you're trying to get to a certain destination, you don't always get there in a time frame that you want to get there. God's timing is not your timing.
Yeah, that's true. The fact. You'll never get there in your timing.
True.
But men, we are conquerors. We see out the eye gauge. See weight, lift weight. See basketball, make ball. See football, throw touchdown. It's objective to us. It's nothing else. The in-between stuff is what it is. If we don't get to that particular benchmark, Keegan, guess what? I'm fucked.
I failed.
Excuse me, Mama.
I failed.
I failed. So now we're dealing with something. And now we, in that process, and I want both of y'all to go, in that process, we forget completely about who we are, our desires, what we want, what our actual dream was. Because, and let me preface this, make no mistake about it, I'm a father and a husband. Providing is it. If that ain't done, everything I'm talking about is null and void. Providing is it. Don't care what it is. I don't care what you gotta go do. That's it. I don't care if you're getting along. I don't care what happens. I don't care if y'all can't stay together. Providing is it. And I respect every man who's putting forth the effort. But go ahead, Scott.
There's a statement that we always say about being present in the moment, right? You got to be present in the moment. And that even applies to your self-care. Very unusual situation that the same thing that you're talking about now actually came up in our Bible study on Wednesday.
Come on.
So one of the things that my pastor was saying was, it's great to have vision, but you still got to see what's around you right now. You got to be present in the moment.
Yeah, no question.
And it made me visualize a person looking at where they want to go through a pair of binoculars. When you're looking at where you want to go through the pair of binoculars, you don't keep the binoculars to your face.
Yes.
You'll never reach your destination if all you see is where you're trying to go.
Yep.
That's good.
You'll miss every single pitfall. You'll trip on every tree branch, fall in every ditch, fall in every lake, mud puddle. You'll hit every tree along the way trying to get to where you're trying to get to if you don't pull the binoculars away from your face.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, Keegan.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's great to have vision. It's absolutely mandatory for you to be successful in life. It's great to have vision, but it's also mandatory for you to be present in your present moment.
And that's, Keegan, that's so difficult. It's difficult to be present in that moment because men are we're logistical thinkers.
Yeah.
We think logic, and we think A, B, and C. So we're not thinking when the bills have to be paid, the bills have to be paid.
That's right.
You're not thinking what the pastor said on Sunday. You're thinking that your bank gonna need that check. And it don't matter whether you got a lot or you got a little. Every man feels the same thing.
Facts. Facts.
Because men with a lot, they struggle because they never want to go back to not having a lot.
Yeah, you can't regress.
So they tighten up a little bit. You get what I'm saying? So men, that we face the same pressure in both scenarios, whether you're a man with means, whether you're a man with not means. You know, do you take care of yourself? I don't mean the things you can pay for. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying going to get a massage, although that's a part of self-care.
Easy, that's part of self-care.
No, I just said it was a part of self-care.
Yeah.
You were ready to get.
Yeah.
You were ready for this.
Hey, you hell yeah. I ain't Deshaun Watson, but yeah, I love my massages though. I love massages though. Let's be clear. We gonna talk about that shit. I'm just saying.
Yo, you bugging.
I'm just saying.
Listen, but that's a part of self-care, but it is how you feel about yourself. It's about the things you will take. It's about how you present yourself. It's about how you have a passion for God, how you have a passion understanding that you submit to somebody greater than you.
Mm-hmm. I would not only that, I think most important, if I'm on E, I can't give you nothing.
Come on.
If I'm on E, I can't give Scott, Tim, Jog nothing. I can't give my kids nothing if I'm on E. Self-care means I fill the tank so I can go out and do and be what I need to be for everyone else who's in my circle, right? So I got a 5-pillar philosophy: spiritual health in this order: spiritual health, physical and emotional health, which also means mental health, relationship health, economic health. For those, and that's forward, I'm gonna stop right there. I don't want to go any further. My point in this is, if you don't take care of your health characteristics, you won't be good for no one else. And for me, self-care starts with mind, body, and soul, right? So for me, prayer, Bible study, getting my spiritual work in, that's a muscle too.
It is.
You just can't walk around saying, yeah, I believe in God, but yet you're not walking in trying to bear fruit.
How are you filling your tank?
And I
Right?
want to say this,
Yeah.
and even for men too, and everybody doesn't believe in the same thing.
That's
So
fair.
I want to say this. So whatever you do, whether we agree or disagree,
I don't care what
whatever
faith
it is.
I don't care what faith it is.
whatever it is,
You have to invest in that faith.
that's what I'm saying.
And
There
don't,
you go.
don't
Yeah.
tell me that you spiritual. I can't stand that.
Yeah, I'm not even going. It could be Christian. Go ahead.
A person that doesn't believe in anything falls for everything.
That's true. They will.
Believe in something.
They're easily manipulated.
You don't have something that can fill, like you said, I need to fill the tank.
You do.
If I don't have a full tank, I have nothing to give to anybody else.
Yep, and you're easily manipulated.
If I don't have something to fill my tank, something has to fill your tank.
Yeah,
It's not going to be you.
that was the case. You'd be a robot,
Exactly.
right? But yeah, I will say I don't care if it's Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Catholicism, whatever it might be. Invest in your faith walk. That's one.
Find a
Two,
foundation.
Yeah, find a foundation. Two, physically take care of your body. Like the the mortality rate for a black male, early 70s, 70 to 72. And it's kind of slowing down a little bit and going a little bit backwards because of what we're doing to ourselves, right? Females, mid to upper 70s, right? So invest in your body, because your body is a temple. It's also a machine. It's not going to last forever, right? Self-care is important for all those things. Mentally, have meditation time.
Come on, that's good.
Spend time with yourself or with God, however you want to do it, but spend time in quietness. There's so much noise outside, so much shit in this, excuse my French, in this right here. Spend time in quiet mode, right? Let your body recharge, And then I would say spend time with those individuals who will pour into you. Stop being around leeches.
My goodness.
That's good.
They will extract everything from you and don't put shit in the relationship account.
That's good.
They always taking withdrawals. They're making deposits. And when you got to take one out the bank, there's nothing there.
You on one tonight.
Stop being around leeches.
Come on.
Be around people who can actually pour into you. And that's part of self-care. And yes, I get massages.
Yeah.
Once a month.
But
hold on. With a massage, you cut the phone off, you lay down, and someone else serves you. I spend the majority of my day, my week, my month, my quarter, my semi-annual year, my year, serving other people based on what I do. For an hour, someone serves me.
Listen, if y'all had a mentor
not
like
not in a sexual way either.
If y'all had a mentor like mine, bro, this is my mentor. This is what you, man, listen, that was good. The only thing I want to say about this, and I want you to make sure when you zooming in, the reason why he can do all this because he has a droid. The reason why he can focus. If you get a droid, your life is over because it does nothing.
Hey, Tim.
Apple, y'all better pay me for this shit.
Hey, Tim. An iPhone ain't make me healthy by no means. Right. So fucking iPhone. How about that? And I ain't saying pardon my French. You can kiss my black ass too, by the way, Steve.
But you gonna go to the iPhone, correct?
I will upgrade.
You going? Yeah.
I will.
I
will transition.
We talking about, distractions and men, and I want us to know, man, is we can tap into our emotional intelligence. That is okay. You can feel a certain way. Get around people who you can express your feelings to. Get around people who make you feel comfortable about who you want to be, not who you are manufactured to be.
True.
Yeah.
Our parents sometimes can do that to us, Keegan. Our parents sometimes train us for a time period that we're never gonna live in. That happens, and I think that is an important aspect to take care of yourself and men and self-care, because I think then when you talk about marriages and relationships, and I'm neither one of those, but I think that's when you can start getting a healthy communication to get you back to a healthy space.
Yeah,
because both parties are operating on an equilibrium now. Now, like I'm not just men go into caves. When we get frustrated, when we get sick and tired of something, we stop talking. We don't want to talk to nobody. Yeah. We want to deal with nothing. It's irritating. It's nauseating to hear a la 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 when you want to just chill. When you don't, that's a real thing. For a lot of men, and it's not negating or casting any aspersions on the woman, because we need our women. We love our women. Don't get that wrong. But men, we have to now take responsibility and learn how to get out of that cave and take care of ourselves. First thing, take care of ourselves. And I still struggle with that. The men up here ain't telling you something that we've mastered. We're telling you that we understand that when we don't do this, these are the results we get. This is what we get out of it. But for our last topic, before we go, I want to talk about this, for a second. I'm a young father, 5, and 2, I love my girls to death. I can't even tell you. Gigi, Eden, and River. It is.
You need some more guns, bro.
Huh?
You need some more guns.
I do, man. They're beautiful too, man. They're absolutely smart, witty, and being a young father to them is fearful. It's loving. It puts a different type of fire inside of me, Keegan. But it was hard for me to show at first because I felt disconnected.
Really?
I felt disconnected. I didn't feel when they were first there, I didn't understand the connection. I didn't have the same connection my wife had to the children.
Okay.
It wasn't I love them. I was taking all that was good.
But you wasn't the PCG though. I get it.
Yeah. So I won't even want to say it was a disconnection. I couldn't understand what a connection was.
When you're not the primary caregiver, it's difficult to make, because you see what your spouse has in their mother. Like, whoa, I don't have that.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Scott, you got. I don't have, that thing that mothers have. Mothers. This is why no matter what happens, you have to respect the mother of your children, your wife. No, if they bore your children, there's a respect that has to be there. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they do.
Well, their connection started 9 months ago.
It
before
did.
They got there, right?
Facts.
So they got a 9-month head start on you.
Facts.
They do. That baby's boiling inside of her.
They got a connection like you'll never experience.
And that's the reason why you have to respect it, because you don't have to experience that. You don't have to experience pain to get the joy. Men just get the joy when the baby come out.
Depends on the mom and how much pain you experience.
I'm just talking about if all things were equal. If all things were equal, what I'm saying is we just get the other. See, that's why women they always have to have respect, because no matter what, they bore your children and they risk their life, and they take primary responsibility. I have a daughter that's not in the home with me, but her mom takes care of her.
Yeah.
I can, by that fact alone, it don't matter what we feel about each other. And by the way, we don't, it's cool, but it don't matter what you feel about a woman in that perspective, just that perspective, you got to give her respect. And you got to do what's necessary, no matter how you feel about it. And there's some wrong thing. I don't want to go into the weeds or anything like that, but it's some unfair practices that happen with the baby mama, baby daddy relationship. We know that. Everybody knows that. But the bottom line is they have your children. And there's nothing second to that.
The dynamic of your relationship has to adjust.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what you felt about your relationship, her being the mother of your child, you have to respect her as a mother, as a person that your daughter loves.
Absolutely.
And being reared by.
Exactly. And your daughter is going to have a love and respect for her on par or better than the love and respect that she's going to have for you, simply because that person is there every single day, right?
The one thing I would say about that, Scott, is it may not be on par, but it will be different.
It will definitely
It's
be
good.
different.
Because the father occupies a different position with the daughter than the mother does.
Yes, he does.
So I would say it's a little different than just being on par, better than. Yeah, because you occupy a different position in her life. I mean, I can speak because I got a 25-year-old daughter.
You don't look like him, my guy.
Thank you. I
Looking
appreciate
young.
that.
Black don't crack.
I appreciate that.
You ain't
Black
got a
don't
single
crack.
gray over there.
Yeah.
No, I got some grays now. I got some snow.
minute.
I got some snow. But but check this
It's
out.
light reflection.
Yo, but I love that snow though. I love it. I will never color it. I will never color it. It's wisdom. It's wisdom. It's also experience. Yeah. But I will tell you that my daughter blessed me, by telling me when I was like, man, I'm a bad dad. Like I'm not getting it right. But as she became an adult, she kind of let me know that everything you spoke, I got. I didn't execute on it, but I got it. And now she's putting things in place now based on what I downloaded a while ago. And it makes sense. I mean, things that my mom's told me I didn't get till I was like 30-something years in age. I was like, okay, let me apply that now because now it makes sense. So, yeah.
And I didn't know.
I occupy a different role.
And I was saying I'm going to go to you on something, Scott, but when I was, just me being, if I'm being transparent, when I was a father, but I was not a parent. There was a difference. I didn't know the difference because here's what poverty, let's go back to poverty.
Okay.
Poverty, when you're in a valley, you don't have a chance. A lot of black people did not have a chance to sometimes expand their consciousness on a worldview on a lot of things that happen around them and explore their life because everything had to be rooted in the next paycheck. Every decision had to be made, had to be about making sure I got to Friday or the 1st and the 15th, right?
Yeah.
Everything had to. Everything, all getting you up in school on time, the discipline, all those things you had to just keep survive. Surviving is hard.
Yeah, facts.
So you don't really get the necessary utopia to make mistakes, to realize what you want, to realize who you are. When you know who you are, you make different decisions. You don't cater your decisions to hurting people. You cater your decisions. I know who I am, so I'm going to raise my kids this way. Or I'm going to do this way because I know what they need versus who I am. Mm-hmm. But when you're in poverty, sometimes you have to just raise off the urgent moment.
Yeah. Everything is urgent.
And you don't get to teach everything
Yeah.
that you have inside of you because everything is urgent.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to school and do the same thing a white person does because this is urgent.
Yeah.
You can't, so you suppress, and in every generation start to suppress. So I believe, for me, my mom, when my father passed away at 7, had to suppress. Not because she wanted to, because I believe, honestly, Von Silla Talbert is the greatest human I have ever. There's nobody I can see that is a greater human than my mom. I watched my mom. Let me brag on my mom for a second. I watched my mom never. I don't care in our private moments, family moments. You know, you talk about people in your family moments.
Yeah.
You talk about cousins soon. My mama won't engage. She will not engage. The things that were done to her egregiously when she was innocent, she won't ask. She won't say anything. Dignity, pride, grace, and honor. That's what she's built of. My mom, take care of my 94-year-old grandmama. My mama sacrificed. She didn't even get married again for her children.
Wow.
She different. The only thing I want to do is retire my mom. That's it. I want to take care of my family and retire my mom. Put me in the grave then.
That hit.
She deserved it.
Yo, that hit hard.
So when I say this, I'm not negating anything she done, but you can only go above what you know. You can't make up something. If you've never been exposed to something, you don't know it, Scott. You don't know what's going on out there, Scott, or what's driving by because you can't see it. You don't have access to it. You can't be in 2 places at one time. So that's not to negate her, but I didn't get those things, Keegan.
I hear you.
Just didn't get them. So now I was just thinking the only thing keep us afloat. Poverty. Just get just enough.
But one thing I would tell you though is you just explain characteristics of your mother while she was living in that poverty mindset, right? Yeah. So what I would tell you is I got work ethic from my mom's and my Uncle Benji. When I moved down south because my uncle took me in, I watched him every morning get up, 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, go to work every single day. That hit me. Like that grind, that Kobe Bryant drive, that LeBron James grind in the off season, that hit me.
Oh, and I'll say this, Keegan. I don't think my mom gave me a poverty mindset. I think that we adopted it because I think America shows you what you don't have and they make you covet that.
No question. But I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is even while she was trying to figure out how to take care of all the kids that she had to take care of, you watched those characteristics at play. You watched grace in motion. You watched dignity in motion. You watched love in motion. Even though you was impoverished, you was actually going through the struggle, you captured that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what my daughter showed me. Those things download.
You bottled hope.
Yeah. Those things download.
They do. Train a child.
Yeah.
And the way it should go.
Yes.
When they grow up,
they want to depart from it.
Yes, sir.
And man, I listen, bro. Von Silla Talbert, and just give me a second, man. Listen, man. It is. I only got one parent, and she was phenomenal. And growing up, sometimes our parents, if my mama hadn't pushed through, I wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. If she would have quit, I wouldn't be here.
Your siblings probably wouldn't be where they're at either.
See, when you make a proclamation or say, y'all didn't give me this, or the older generation ain't do this, you better be careful.
No question.
When you say that.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't know what they sacrificed.
Now, that's an amen.
You don't know you don't know what our moms and dads had to endure to get your butt here. Where you don't have to actually do no physical work. Where you can just sit on the computer all day. Keep it a band.
When you can level up.
Here's the issue I have with that. That even making that statement, you can be impoverished and still be entitled.
Yes.
That's an entitled mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mentality that says you owe me something.
Yeah.
You don't owe me anything.
That's a fact.
The fact that you were able to articulate all of those great qualities about your mom is the first thing that you can say to the fact that you bottled hope.
Yes.
You bottled it. Because you don't recognize those things if you don't.
That's good.
That's facts.
I couldn't pick up this hat if I don't recognize a hat for what it is. Right?
That's good.
You can't pull
You saw it
those
in
traits
action.
out.
You saw it in action.
You saw it.
Yep.
You felt it.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you recognize what it was when it was.
Yep.
You knew how great your mom was.
Unbelievable.
Is.
In the moment.
Is.
In the moment.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You when I say you recognize, when I put it in the past tense, I'm putting in the past tense because you recognized it
When he
the very
was there.
first time you
When he saw it.
when you
Yeah,
were
no
young.
question. No question. Yeah. I'm
You
with there,
recognized
Scott.
it then.
That's powerful, Scott. Yeah.
Scott, you 40, 15, and 30.
Yeah.
That ain't even a stat line. You 40, you on one right now, my guy. Listen.
You can't do the things that you can't be where you are right now without recognizing the greatness that you came from.
The only reason why I've made it through is because of Untitled Chapter. I wouldn't be here. I won't be nowhere, and I won't continue to go without her. The strength of a woman, particularly a black woman, is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's true.
The strength I've seen that. See, this is the thing. This when I watch. This is why I got so much respect for black women and what they deal with. It's because I've watched a woman come to my football games, come to my basketball games, help me with my homework, not talk about doing things, but model it in front of me when it's not popular to model that type of behavior.
Let me ask you a question though. And this is really what sets this off. Do you think your mom is perfect?
I think
Mine wasn't.
If I'm being honest,
Be real honest.
I think my mom is beautiful. What I mean by that is my mom consists of a lot of different characteristics, but she chose grace.
You know, everything that you mentioned, you talked about the perfect imperfections that were in your mother. She doesn't have to be perfect in order for her to perfect things in you.
That's good.
Yeah, because Scott, to your question, mine wasn't perfect. I saw, I can look back and say, this is like, that was suspect. But again, she was bigger than that one decision.
Much bigger than the one
Right?
decision.
And where she impacted my life, she was perfect.
She was perfect.
Like when
Yes,
when
sir.
Vansala Talbert ran through brick walls for you, that was perfection.
That was perfect.
When she helped you with your homework,
That was perfect.
that was perfection. When she put
good.
food in your belly, that was
perfect.
perfection.
Come on.
We get caught up in trying to judge people on what they don't do or where they fuck up. We never actually celebrate
No,
what
my
they
mama listens
do.
to this and she hear you say fuck up. She
No,
gonna pray for you.
no,
Yeah,
not your mom.
she already prayed for you.
Not your mom. I'm talking about people in general.
No, I'm just kidding.
We
Can't
typically. Yeah, I'm with you. My bad, Mr. Top. My bad, Mr.
Yeah,
Top.
you
I
gotta
apologize.
say that. Come on, grandma.
I apologize.
I'm a mode too, my 94-year-old
I
grandmama.
apologize. I retract that comment as far as the curse words go. I apologize. But I would say this: we typically focus on the bad or the problem because that's what creates something. It creates certain engagement. Because we expect good, we don't celebrate it.
Come on.
So when you are at home with your kids, helping them with their homework, you're supposed to be doing that. Why are we gonna celebrate it? No, actually, that's work.
That's work.
But let you go out in the street and do something stupid. We gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that all day long. We do that as a society, not as a culture, as a society. We focus on the negative, but those table stakes, that's what build people, right? So let me bring it full circle for a second. We expect Don to actually equip young athletes with the skills they need to actually go out here and perform well. We accept it. We expect it. So we don't celebrate it.
Come on.
Let him mess up one day.
Yep.
We on our Instagram, on our Twitter talking about, yo, he effed up real bad.
Trash.
Now he done did
That's full circle.
19,000 things great.
Yep.
That one thing he did bad, we gonna talk about that. Mrs. Talbot did 19 million things great. Do one thing bad. She judged on that. That's the problem with our society. So no, our parents, mothers and fathers aren't perfect.
They aren't.
When they run through brick walls for us, they're perfect. When they put food in our belly, they're perfect. When they pray over us,
come on.
I don't care
they're
if
perfect.
the lights was out. I don't care if they didn't pay the power bill. They probably had candles.
No question.
They would do what it was necessary for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfection in an imperfect moment.
Extend that.
Absolutely.
Extend that. They had great relationships with people around the corner. Can I get some sugar? That seed was built way back in the day. That even asked that question to raise a child.
Absolutely.
That's how the community works. But our mothers, no one's perfect. I don't expect you to be. Because when I needed you, you was perfect.
Come on.
When I needed you, you was perfect. That's the only thing I worried about.
That's it.
And and we all, and I think there's no category that you can put in parenting. There's no new age.
There's
and I
no
brought this up to say
blueprint.
there's no
blueprint.
new age parenting. Nah. There's no millennial parenting. There's
no, y'all got that shit.
No, that called.
Y'all don't beat your kids.
No.
Y'all don't beat your kids.
Now I'll say this. No. I don't. Now here's what I'll say. I don't beat my kids now because of my parents' sacrifice. I had the ability to learn how to communicate differently and understand the world just a little bit more and understand that there are booby traps out there, but I'm gonna show you a way. We can go to college, we can go to on a business, we can do this. That doesn't mean the terrain ain't scary. It just means that I've went out there already, and I'm gonna tell you how to get back.
I'll say this.
That's all I'm saying.
My kids don't kirk out in the grocery store. I'll put it to you like that. They know not to do that bullshit. I just put it to you like that. I'm just saying.
Abuse.
I'm just saying. Nah. Spare the rod.
Spare the
My man.
But
it's in Psalms too, by the way. But I'm just going.
But we've developed and we've evolved to a place now to where every generation gets a little bit more enlightened. Now, I'm not even going to say better, just more enlightened on the world. They understand the world just a little bit better. And I think, with this generation, kind of bring it for a search before we wrap up, learning how to parent now is so different because now men, we have to understand there's another dominant force that's not opposing. See, that's what we confuse with women. Dominant and opposing are two different things.
Very true.
Having a dominant present means it adds more to the fight. Having an opposing presence means they're your enemy. That's a difference. Mm-hmm. Now, can that be the case? Can those roles get intertwined with friction? Yes, it can.
Friction is one thing.
Absolutely. But when you're with somebody or somebody with you're trying to develop something with somebody, understand that. Men, we have to evolve to understand. And I think that plays a lot into parenting and how we parent our children. And we have to learn that as men because sometimes going to just disciplining and hitting them, you're going to do this. No, I get it. But I'm starting to learn. I'm not there yet. I might get home and yell at my kids.
So I want to be clear. I never did that to make
trying to clean up now.
No. But nah, you said something that's not correct. Yeah. Hold on. I never did that. Yeah. Don't hit the button. I never did say, yo, you gotta do X, Y, Z. That's what I did. There was punishment for what you did wrong.
Yeah.
That's what it was for.
Yeah.
It was to correct. It was correct. It was never about you going to do what I say do. Now, I don't believe in that. But when you break a rule, because here's the thing, my whip is not as bad as that white man's whip.
And that's a perspective.
Let's be clear.
That's a perspective.
Jail will always be worse than my belt.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that, you got a wrong perspective on that. I'm just being honest with you. Jail is never going to be as worse. Because what's going to happen in jail, my belt can't compare.
That's good.
My belt cannot compare.
And I'll say this before we wrap up, man. This has been one hell of a podcast, bro. I don't think this is a podcast. I think this was something different. You know what I mean? And I think, we as parents, we do the best we can.
Mhm.
This is a hard job. It's not easy. I watch, my wife, sometimes she struggles, being a mother, having to, even if the father's sitting right there, she's bearing that. If you've raised kids, you know that. The kids rely on her. That's why I talk so glowingly about my mom.
Yeah.
Because we only had her to rely on and lean on. She felt everything.
Mother, father. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was critical. And watch this. She was a mother, 4 boys and 1 girl. She didn't know how to communicate, man. She can communicate. She could teach me how to be a man. You know why? Because she wasn't a man.
That's facts.
She
Yeah.
grew up her life being this.
Yep.
But God still provided.
He did, as he always
That's
does.
the combination of this whole conversation. Henry Ruggs, even Scottie Pippin's,
Kobe Bryant.
being a father, being a parent. All of it comes down to is that God provides a way of escape. And, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a special episode, man. I got my guy right here, Kobe Bean Bryant episode, man. Listen, man, I love you, my guy. I want to say that. I don't even want to cry, but I love this man.
Yeah, don't cry.
I don't know him personally, but the spirit that he put into the world, I think it dignified a lot of people when people understood who he was and understood, the work ethic and understood that. See, sometimes it doesn't matter, Keegan, if you don't get the result off your work ethic. It's the glory that you respected the process. Kobe didn't win a championship every year. Kobe didn't win MVP every year.
True.
But he worked the same because he didn't cheat the game. Don't cheat your business.
Facts.
Don't cheat your purpose. Don't cheat your gift.
Don't cheat your family.
Your wife, your kids. Give them everything. And that's me projecting onto myself. But again, guys, I thank y'all, man. Special episodes. I want to thank Donovan Davis, Toscano Davis for, giving us the facility for the night.
Yeah, thank
and some
you so
days
much.
to come.
Thank you so
They
much.
do such a
Yeah.
great job here, and you can feel the spirit of excellence that's just roaming through this building. You guys, thank you very much. I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight too as well, man. I think we had one of the greatest conversations that's ever been had, man. I really believe that about you guys, man. This is the gospel. This is Christ. This is what he meant right here. This is what it was supposed to be. This is another layer to speaking to our people, adding value to the world without asking for anything back. Just giving it freely, understanding that there might be the next Barack Obama waiting in the wings.
True.
It might be the next Malcolm X, the next W.E.B. Du Bois waiting in the wing, and you giving your knowledge out. Sometimes, bro, your vision isn't for you to reach a promised land, Moses.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Real
you're
talk.
setting up Joshua for the alley-oop.
Yeah.
That's how it works sometimes. Sometimes you don't get all the credit, Keegan. Sometimes God may give you God probably told my daddy he was going to be a billionaire. But probably his great son might be a billionaire. That may be the case. But guess what you got to do? Lay the brick. Lay the brick. You may not see the full house finished, but your legacy, but God knows.
If you got a mansion in the kingdom, you don't care about $1 billion.
Come on.
That's right.
Scott, you got anything else before we go?
No, my main thing is always be true to yourself. One of the things I tell people all the time, you can lie to me as much as you want to, just don't lie to yourself.
Come on.
Be honest with yourself. Develop the right relationships. Know when to win and know when it's okay to lose.
That's good.
Your life is not predicated on you winning everything every time. You'll be amazed at how many lessons you learn from losing.
That's going to be real. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You're 55, He's 15 and 40. Go ahead, Keegan.
I would say, first and foremost, thank you to Don and Audrey for letting us in your house. And for those who are watching, if you got kids who want to start training for athletics, this is the spot to be in.
The Sports Performance Center.
The core is a dope spot.
Unbelievable. Don is
dope
the
spot.
most.
Yeah,
I'm
beautiful.
Yeah, and he's on one.
Listen,
he is on one.
I'm telling you,
he's going to create a beast for your kid if you want to bring him through here.
Put the camera on me, Tim.
He's on one.
You ready? Is the camera on me? Listen, Don's my guy. I want to say this before we go. My best friend, I love him. I
want to say something too, Steve, but go ahead.
No, go finish.
No, go do Don thing. Don's important. Don's important.
Go ahead.
No, I got something. Don's important. Go ahead.
But I want to say this. Don, Don has meant more to me than any person in the world since I was in college. I grew up. We've watched each other's growth. We've held each other accountable.
It's brotherhood, bro.
That's good.
This is when you know you built something.
I remember he gave me confidence. I won't even have it. And this dude, I ain't never seen nobody with that much integrity. Man, when you talk about I had a coach used to say, Coach Dooley used to say, your character is who you are when nobody's looking.
That's right.
Amen.
For sure.
I watched this guy be a husband and a father. He younger than me, he my little bro, but he inspires me. He gives me strength. He gives me a reason to keep fighting. He didn't only build this, but he transformed himself in the process.
That's a fact.
So, that's my guy. And there was a lot of nights I wouldn't have made it. There was a lot of nights I just would have fell apart if it wasn't for him checking on me and I just remember those nights, man. So I just wanted to give my guy his love and respect on why he's living, why he can see it. But go ahead, Keegan, before we end.
Yeah, I would say, I was going to say, Albert Einstein, I quote him, he said, try not to be a man of success, but be a man of service. And then in that particular space, you was talking about it earlier, Scott, about we win at all costs because it's about us, right? But when you're a man of service, it's about the other person. Who can I pour into? Who can I help? Who can I uplift? Who can I encourage? Who can I empower? And I think about everyone that we talked about tonight. Kobe, you can pull something from that man's life.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right? Henry Ruggs, you can pull something from that man's life. He worked hard to get to Alabama, get to the NFL, made a bad decision, but he did something you can actually pull something from. Mrs. Talbert,
Come on.
you can pull something from that.
Yeah.
So if you look at this particular podcast, be a person of service
Yes, sir.
versus success. I think if you do that, success will come. You walking in what God's purpose is for your life, He got the provision for you. You ain't got to earn that. He got the provision for you. When you impact someone else, that's when you're being a real vessel for Him. So I would just quote Albert Einstein, try not to be a person of success, but a man of service.
Be a king.
We're going to end with that. Y'all please subscribe on our YouTube, The Deep Surface Pod. I'm right here, this camera. Y'all subscribe on the Deep Surface Pod on YouTube and Instagram, man. And please like, share, and comment. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a beautiful night.